a massive number of scenes were cut from Zootopia. Most of them would have drastically changed the movie. And I guess you've probably seen YouTube videos about Zootopia's deleted scenes. But for today's video, I've gathered every single one I could find. And trust me, there are plenty you haven't seen before. Some are truly crazy, like Nick being called Judy's boyfriend, the infamous tame collar scenes, and even some highly controversial moments. So let's get started. It's worth noting that these deleted scenes come from different production stages and various film versions. Initially, Zootopia was supposed to have a completely different version, where Nick was the main character and all predators in the city were forced to wear tame collars, devices that would restrain them if they ever showed aggression or other emotions. We'll talk more about that in a bit, but first let's focus on a later version of the film. First, let's discuss the ice cream scene in the middle of the movie. In the final version, the elephant refuses to serve Nick simply because he's a fox. But in this alternate version, he refuses to sell him only a large ice cream cone because he doesn't want to clean up after him.
It's gonna drip all over the place, and I'm gonna have to clean up your kid's mess. Pick something different or go somewhere else.
But the craziest part is how Nick introduces his so-called son in this version. It's absolutely wild. First, he claims that his son has a disease called pachydermiopathy, which makes him believe he's an elephant instead of a fox.
Why? Pachydermiopathy. He thinks he's an elephant.
Considering the ideology Disney has been promoting over the last decade, this scene feels pretty unexpected. After that, the elephant agrees to sell them the ice cream, but Nick also pretends he forgot his wallet, so he keeps going. He says he adopted this fox kid just 30 minutes ago, that the kid is actually blind, and that on top of everything, it's his birthday. Oh, and according to the doctor, the poor fox was supposed to have already died from his illness. That's insane.
Even for this sweet, helpless orphan who is blind.
As you can see, this scene is packed with this kind of over-the-top stuff. It's definitely bizarre to watch, but I can totally see why they decided to cut it. The next scene is from the early version of the movie, where Nick is supposed to be the main character. As I said, in this version, predators would be fitted with tame collars once they reached a certain age. The entire story revolves around Nick's dream of building a unique park where predators could take off their collars and roam freely. In the deleted scene called Wild Times, Nick is looking for investors to fund the park.
Okay, now this is a fun zone amusement park exclusively for Zootopia's largest untapped market, Preds.
At first, he approaches banks run by prey animals, but they keep turning him down, sometimes in pretty hilarious ways.
I am desperate. Look, I get it. No one wants to throw money down a rat hole. By that, I meant no disrespect.
Only when he turns to predators does he finally get the funding he needs.
The only thing that I don't have is the loan to make it happen. Will you help me make it happen?
Honestly, this park was such a well thought out and incredible idea. There's a video where the creators go into detail about everything that was supposed to be included in the park, and it's mind-blowing. It would have had tons of attractions designed specifically for predators, like ones where they could bite, scratch, and use their claws. Basically, a secret amusement park just for them. The entrance would have been hidden inside a veterinary clinic. Nick would get an online vet diploma and secretly send predators through a hidden door into the park. At some point, the authorities were supposed to discover the park and capture Nick. This scene is incredibly emotional. I absolutely love everything about this park, and it's such a shame that it got cut. It could have been a fascinating movie. However, the creators decided to make Judy the main character because they felt Zootopia's world would be better explored from her perspective than Nick's. On top of that, the idea of tame collars didn't make it into the final version either. So what do you think? Would you have wanted to see this version of the movie? By the way, this isn't the last time we'll talk about the tame collars. There's more to come later. But for now, let's move on to something else. For example, a deleted scene where Judy was supposed to bring Nick to her home. This scene was meant to take place after their encounter with Mr. Manches. Nick was supposed to get injured and Judy would have helped treat it. But once they arrived, her parents were already there, and they mistook Nick for her boyfriend, which they didn't like at all.
He's more than a fox, Dad.
Sweet cheese and crackers, he's your boyfriend.
You know what? This has been great. I was actually just asleep.
However, Nick manages to calm them down, and they start to warm up to him. He even jokes that they should go and make another baby.
There you go. Go on home. Make another baby.
This scene is pretty funny, and it would have been so cool to see it in the final version. However, the creators decided to cut it because in this version, Judy's dad had too much influence over her, which wasn't what they wanted. There is also an alternate version of another scene with Judy's parents. I mean the scene after Judy's disastrous first day on the job. This version was supposed to be much longer than what we saw in the final film. First, we see Judy on the subway, getting squished by the butts of other animals. And when she gets home, her mom calls her, but the conversation plays out very differently. For one, we see her mom with another child, and even Judy's grandfather makes an appearance.
No one got eaten, Pop-Pop.
Well, foxes are red because they were made by the devil.
Then we get a pretty emotional moment between Judy and her mom.
I mean, not that I didn't think you'd make it, it's just you're doing something I never thought a bunny could do.
And finally, we see Judy lying in bed, surrounded by plush rabbits. It's a cute little detail. What do you think of this scene? Now let's take a moment to return to some of the most emotional scenes related to the tame collars. The first one is incredibly powerful. In it, we see a young bear cub undergoing the tame collar ceremony.
With this collar, Zootopia accepts you.
With this color, Zootopia accepts me.
The child is excited because it means he's becoming an adult, but his father and Nick are sad because they know this collar will restrict him for the rest of his life.
Papa is just happy for you.
But things turn even darker when the cub starts getting too happy and the collar activates, shocking him. It reacts immediately to strong emotions in predators.
Morris!
Right after that, we see Nick's collar turn yellow, showing that he too is experiencing intense emotions.
Go.
This scene is brutal. It gives me chills. Honestly, it's a shame we never saw it in the final movie. The next scene also ties into this theme. Here, Nick visits a doctor who is supposed to remove his tame collar, but the way he does it is just insane. He puts on a hazmat suit, locks Nick inside a cage, and only then removes the collar. It really shows how terrified the prey animals are of predators in this version. After that, Nick is absolutely over the moon. He finally feels free. He even sits there dreaming about his park for predators. It's such a powerful scene. Once again, it's a shame they cut it, along with the whole tame collar concept. There was also supposed to be a scene where Nick destroys the town for small animals. In the final version, we saw Judy end up there instead. Then, right after this scene or somewhere around this point in the story, there would be a news segment on CNN. First of all, they actually show Judy's butt in this scene. But more importantly, at the end of this scene, we get a glimpse of the original villain, Mayor Swinton. She was supposed to be the main antagonist in this version. Also, at the very end of this scene, Judy threatens Nick, telling him that she will find him and lock him up. Now, there was also supposed to be a hilarious scene in the middle of the movie where Judy is sitting at an elephant's computer trying to type on the keyboard. It looks funny, but they cut it because it took up too much time. Next up, we have what was originally supposed to be the movie's opening scene. Here, Judy argues with her teacher, who tells her she'll never be anything more than just a bunny.
What if I want to be an astronaut or a paramedic?
Or, Judy, look, certain mammals are just better at some things than others.
Then an accident happens. One of the students gets stuck in a tree and has no idea how to get down. Judy's teacher hides in her shell, but Judy steps in and saves the kid, proving she can do anything. After that, a cop approaches Judy and tells her she's a real hero. Honestly, this scene feels pretty unnatural to me. Instead, the final version replaced it with the scene featuring Gideon, where Judy becomes the victim. This change was made to explain why Judy has a fear of foxes. Then, while digging through the archives, I found an insane number of small deleted scenes. It's just wild. Let me list them. There was an alternate scene introducing Nick. Now, this one is where Judy salutes in uniform. Also, this scene is where the heroes are running from villains shooting at them. Another one is where Judy talks to Nick.
Care to look again?
There was also this one with Judy and Gideon, but it's more of a joke. So yes, there are plenty more tiny deleted scenes, but they're short and insignificant. There were also a few scenes featuring Kozlov. In one, Nick is handling business with him, and in another, Kozlov threatens Nick. It seems like Kozlov was supposed to play a significant role in this movie version as he was funding the Wild Times Park. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. What do you think? Which scenes did you like the most? Let me know in the comments. See ya!